everyone. In this video interview we are discussing the question, what is the time machine? Now, before listening to this video interview, if you have not yet listened to individuality, what is individuality and dimensional shifting, we suggest first listening to that video interview. It will be included as a video response to this video interview to assist and support you with convenience. So have a listen to that video interview, because that video interview is explaining the basic platform and framework of what we're going to be walking in this video interview. So within the previous video interview of what is individuality and dimensional shifting, we touched on how your mind consciousness system is the very manifestation of a manifested dimensional shift that has become the living state of ourselves as human beings, where we have shifted ourselves through and because of separation into a separate living manifestation of ourselves that's become the mind consciousness system, where that separation manifested within us accepting and allowing ourselves to live within the starting point of interest instead of as an individual living what's best for all, with equal and one with all individuals within existence. And within that separation we went into interest as disagreement with ourselves as all. In that disagreement manifested the internal conflict, and that internal conflict manifests not only within the context of being separate from one's own individuality as well as the individuals as all of existence as self, but also within the context of dimensions, and how our mind consciousness system as ourselves is a manifested conglomeration of various dimensions into and as which we have shifted ourselves as a total manifested dimensional shift, where even those individual dimensions are in conflict with each other within ourselves, which is what perpetuates and manifests our experience of internal conflict in, for example, where we have different voices communicating within ourselves and are in constant continual disagreement as conflict with those very voices, where those very voices are dimensions within ourselves that are interacting. Now let's have a look at the very nature of those dimensions into and as which we have furthermore separated ourselves within our mind consciousness system, that manifested as personalities as extensions from our mind consciousness system, as dimensional shifts within the primary dimensional shift as our mind consciousness system, and how we have manifested those dimensions into personalities which are aligned within our mind consciousness system according to time frames. And it's fascinating because the very dimensional shifts that we initially separated ourselves into, those dimensional shifts looks like actual frames in the very structure that it exists as. From those frames it developed into an actual being as entity within ourselves as our mind consciousness system, which became a living personality. And that living personality exists in a particular time frame. And so within our very mind consciousness system, we are time traveling in how we are utilizing our personalities to interact with other human beings And as we are moving through those and with those personalities, we are actually in fact time traveling. We are moving in dimensions of time. So what is the time machine is ourselves as the mind consciousness system, as the very personalities. And as we are moving and traveling through time as manifested personalities, each personality represents a particular time frame. That particular time frame meaning where we had created this particular personality throughout our life experience. And it is within and through our life experiences that we create personalities, dependent on the family, friends, influences, experience, situation, education, each and every single sector of this world system that we participate in through time, up until the age of especially 18 to 21, we take these dimensional shifts that looks like literal frames that we shift ourselves into within our mind consciousness system, take that frame as shift and develop it into an actual being as personality, and that takes a certain period of time. And we can overlap in our processes of creating personalities with these dimensional shift frames that manifest within ourselves. So let's say, for example, we're moving in our and with our family, and we've shifted into a dimension within our mind consciousness system in relation to one member of our family. And with that one member, we are busy taking that frame as dimensional shift and developing it into a personality that we're utilizing to interact with them. And as we're walking that, we're also now at the same time meeting new friends. And within that, we can shift into another dimension and also create a personality in who we are with our friends at the same time. However, what dimensional shift as personality manifestation manifested first was our personality with family, then personality with friends, then personality with school, then personality with environment, our external environment, where we're starting to meet our friends' parents, our teachers. And that extends to where we are first introduced to money, which creates a personality in ourselves. Every single thing that we have been introduced to as we are moving and walking through our life experience created a dimensional shift. Why and how did this happen? Now, with the mind consciousness system, remember, in terms of when you are were born in the old system into this existence as a whole, what was downloaded into your physical form as your mind consciousness system was your parents' mind consciousness system and the generations that had gone before them. However, it would obviously be too obvious to have this child being born and they turn out like exactly as their parents, where the parents can see that their thinking, that their words and their behavior is like exactly the same. So what the mind consciousness system as the creators of existence had to do was have the individuals that come into this world, give them the ability to personalize their parents and the generations that has gone before the mind consciousness system that's within them, which is like these little tiny tweaks here and there, which gives you the illusion of uniqueness, specialness, and being different. However, within the very background, structure, substance, interaction, participation within your mind consciousness system in relation to your parent, you are in fact exactly the same, bar for little parts that may have been altered or changed. And this was done through giving human beings that dimensional shift platform. Now, what would happen is, with every point of interaction in their world and their reality, that would have a significant influence within the direction of their life experience, within their pre-programmed life design, these dimensional shift frames would emerge within their mind consciousness system, being connected to their subconscious mind. So that what would happen is, as the being is interacting with this human being, with this environment, and it would resonate from the unified field into their mind consciousness system and their pre-programmed life design, and would activate certain pre-programmed life design requirements, what would manifest is that this dimensional shift would manifest within their mind consciousness system, would activate, and then their whole mind consciousness system would align the human being to this person, to this environment, to this activity, to make sure that there's a constant interaction, so that this human being can develop their personalized personality with this human being, environment, or activity, to make sure that they develop this personality, so that in their living of this personality eventually throughout their life, they will always be locked into, aligned, and connected with this person or type of person, with this environment or type of environment, with this activity or type of activity. So that's why even at a young age, you are already pre-programmed into your life experience, which is why you prefer or like certain places and other places not, or why you like certain types of people, why you don't like certain types of people, why you like doing certain things and other things not. That's why we've limited ourselves totally and entirely to certain people, certain environments, certain activities, certain directions, because they're all personalities that's in fact existent within ourselves. So now what we do is we, throughout the 18 years of our life experience, we develop these personalities through these dimensional shift frames that manifest within our mind consciousness systems. And these frames, as the beings start participating more and more with a particular human being, a particular environment, particular friends, particular activities, the personality development can go both ways, meaning they can develop a good relationship or a bad relationship. If a good relationship develops, that good relationship will be a facilitating point within their pre-programmed life design, where they will always align themselves with human beings with the same personality, the same behavior, the same communication, the same everything, because their own internal personality is now aligned with this type of person. And let's say in terms of their pre-programmed life design that they aren't supposed to meet with or interact with certain groups of people, because if they were to, that might cause them to go out of alignment of their pre-programmed life design, and therefore you will develop from this dimensional shift frame a personality experience towards that people or that type of person or environment or activity as bad or wrong or negative or scary or whatever, and then you will throughout your life make sure that you do not come close to them. I mean, everything was developed, designed, programmed, manifested within yourself from when you were born into this world as these personality manifestations. So, I mean, you can have a look at your entire and total participation within your world right now and realize that your reactions towards other people, towards environments, towards activities are in fact you shifting dimensions within your mind consciousness system as yourself in time traveling, in where you are meeting a human being here in your immediate environment for the first time. You'd go time traveling in your mind consciousness system, look for your personalities that you've developed when you were young during your formative years, and become that personality, because that's what you've always known in terms of how to now interact with this type of human being that's resonating a particular personality mind consciousness system. And that's how our interactions with human beings, our interactions with environments, activities, manifestations, institutions, corporations, I mean everything has been defined within the context of time traveling. So we've always, throughout our existence as human beings, been time traveling within ourselves in all of our interactions. And even though, in terms of now, in how a human being is developing within this world, with being born, I mean, in the context that I explained that now was within the old system, within the new system, what the human being is becoming and growing as in their manifestation and their living is the manifested consequence of their parents in this world, in this reality, where the human being that's being born becomes the parents that have to face themselves. And of this we have done video interviews. We will link this as well to this video interview to give you a reference of what's happening with the birthing and growing up process in existence as a whole right now. But for those that are now here, that are already between the ages of 9 and up, this very particular manifestation still exists within yourselves. I mean, you can see it within your very interaction with other human beings. You immediately go into thought, backchat, internal conversation, reaction, which is what? Your personality activations. And you are time traveling. You can say that the thoughts are like the little keys and dates you're starting to put in, and your backchat becomes your actual traveling that you're doing through your subconscious mind, and you're traveling, and then your personality emerges, and now you're in your time dimension, and here you're now interacting with this human being in the past. So we've always been doing what? Recreating the past over and over and over again. That's why what's manifested with this existence is the past. That's why we haven't been going anywhere within this existence but backwards. I mean, if we as a humanity is evolving, it's most certainly not being able to be seen with the actual human physical eyes. I mean, if we were really evolving, we would be seeing poverty, violence, crime, murder, rape, abuse, mental disorders. I mean, they would actually in fact be changing. But if you simply go and do your research on all these points, everything is becoming more and more worse and intense and accumulating. Because what are we doing? We're moving backwards. We're creating backwardness. We're creating the past. And instead of living here as individuals, as was best for all, equal and one, and actually moving and living towards a new world, a new future, we are doing the reverse. And that's why ourselves and existence is going into reverse. I mean, when we come into this world, we're living reverse. We're living into death. When we have a look at this whole world and everything in it, everything's going into reverse. It's going haywire. It's going destruction. It's going fucking extinction. I mean, if the animal kingdom is busy going extinct, everything is going into destruction and death. That's living backwards. That's living in reverse. So we've got to get out of our time traveling. I mean, it might have been fun for those that had money in this world for a while, but it's not living with here, with everything and everyone in equality and oneness, and manifesting an actual real future for the first time in this existence. I mean, everyone can see the future in this world, in this existence. Simply have a look at history and where we're going right now, and you'll see we're just doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. There is no fortune tellers needed in this existence. You can simply use your common sense and equality equation and see just death and destruction, extinction, and nothingness. So the solution to this is us stopping this multidimensional time traveling in our personalities, within our mind consciousness system, getting here, directing our living into an actual future for the first time in this existence. And I mean, for that, you don't need a prophet, a God, a higher being foretelling some great future that is miraculously coming. Again, you only need your own common sense in having a look at, with changing self, with me being the very core source or origin of all of this, in my very participation and even just being here, and having a look self-honesty at my own thoughts, my own backchat, my own reactions, my own personalities, and how I am changing with human beings now in my world, how you can walk yourself back into your mind consciousness system in your own past and see what relationships in the earlier stages of your life has developed your relationships now. And I mean that we have the Desteniiprocess with Destiny that does just that. You can for yourself see how you created, programmed, and manifested your own time traveling device, so that you can stop time traveling and being stuck in various time dimensions and start actually being here as breath living. I mean, it's like we've been lost in this time traveling loop in our own mind consciousness system, trying to find ourselves over and over and over again and trying to find home. But the more we move through dimensions in our mind consciousness system as time, the more lost we became, probably even forgotten that we haven't ever been home and that we've been in various time dimensions time traveling. So here's your wake-up call out of your game, out of your system, out of your time traveling. You're not home, you're not here, you've got to get back here, and your way back here is breathing, self-forgiveness, writing, and self-corrective application. Those are your tools that you utilize, that you've got to walk practically in walking yourself out of all your time dimensions as personalities, which is your whole mind consciousness system as yourself, taking it personality by personality and stopping your thoughts, stopping participation in your thoughts, stop participation in reactions, and start developing your living in this physical manifested reality, so that we can stop living here in the past, creating and manifesting the past, and start living the future of ourselves as individuals and individuals as all, as one, as equal. So we don't need to create a time traveling device. Time is within ourselves as our own past that we have manifested as our total mind consciousness system. And what you've just got to realize is that you don't need those personalities to live. Trust yourself and realize that just by breathing, paying attention to yourself, to your relationships, to this physical manifested world, you'll see, realize, and understand that what you've always been missing is simply yourself, your own self-trust, your own self-honesty, your own self-directive principle. So stop being lost in your mind. Find yourself here in the physical. Only you can do that for yourself. And let's create a time of eternity where we're all equal and one here. Thank you.